Name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra. March 3rd is the birth anniversary of Jamshedji Nusarwanji Tata, India's iconic entrepreneur, builder and legendary philanthropist, whose values and principles have been kept alive by the Tata Group for scores of years now. Born in 1839, Jamshedji Nusarwanji Tata's ambitious efforts helped catapult India into the league of industrialized countries. They gave India entire cities that are today the manufacturing hubs of the country. Jamshedji Tata is regarded as a legendary father of Indian industry. So influential was he that in the world of industry, Jawaharlal Nehru referred to Tata as a one-man planning commission. But Jamshedji Tata was more than just the entrepreneur. He was a patriot and a humanist whose ideals and vision shaped an exceptional business conglomerate. In today's In-Depth, we talk about the man who created cities of steel, whose idea shaped the modern life of citizens, and whose philanthropy and values of his workers. March 3rd, 2020 is the 181st birth anniversary of Jamshedji Nusarwanji Tata, a man who was more than just an entrepreneur and helped India take her place in the league of industrialized nations. His vision inspired the steel and power industry in India, set the foundation for technical education, and helped the country leapfrog to the ranks of industrialized nations.
The father of Indian industry, Jamshedji Tata was an Indian pioneer industrialist who founded the Tata Group, India's biggest conglomerate company. Jamshedji Tata was born to Nausherwanji and Jeevan Bai Tata on 3rd March 1839 in Navsari, a city in the South Gujarat. Jamshedji Tata had a formal Western education because his parents saw that he was gifted with special mental arithmetic from a young age. For a more modern education, he was later sent to Bombay. Though he started working with his father at an early age of 14, Jamshedji's real contribution came only after he had in the still recovering from the revolt of 1857, Jamshedji helped in taking his father's business abroad by setting up branches in Japan, China, Europe and the United States. Then in 1859, Jamshedji Tata went to Hong Kong to expand his father's business. In 1868, aged 29, after 9 years of working with his father, Jamshedji started a trading company with a capital of 21,000 rupees that later evolved into the Tata Group. He had 4 goals in life: setting up an iron and steel company, a world-class learning institution, a unique hotel and a hydroelectric plant. In 1872, he focused on cotton manufacturing and subsequently founded mills at Nagpur, Bombay and Kurla.
It was very unusual of a person comes to start the biggest
When Jamshedji was on idea was sparked, when Jamshedji, an ambitious young man, he dreamed of building an iron and steel company. The iron and steel idea was sparked when Jamshedji was on a trip to Manchester to check out new machinery for his textile mill. By the early 1880s, the idea took a shape when Jamshedji Tata met Swami Vivekanand on a ship in 1893, where they discussed Tata's plan of bringing the steel industry to India. Impressed by Vivekanand's views on science and leadership abilities, Tata wanted him to guide his campaign in establishing a research institute. In 1980, India's first works, and 6 years later, these were incorporated as the Tata Iron and Steel Company, now known as Tata Steel. It was here that Jamshedji offered Indians shorter working hours, well-ventilated workplaces, and Provident Fund, and gratuity long before they became compulsory in the West. In 1902, it was Tata's vision of meeting all the needs of the workers in one place that was eventually reflected in the township of Jamshedpur. Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited is Asia's first and India's largest steel company, became world's fifth largest steel company after it acquired Chorus Group, producing 28 million tons of steel annually. In 1906, he also planned for the Bombay area hydroelectric power plants that
You see, at that time there were very few Indian businessmen. All the manufactured goods required in India were coming either from Manchester, Lancashire, or from some European sources. The British at that time had a vested interest in seeing that Indian industry did not take off. They viewed India with this huge market as a good source for their revenues. Evading all these regulations, all these rules, Jamshedji Tata set up a steel plant in Jamshedpur, which is now in modern day Jharkhand, and that was one of the biggest enterprises in Asia even at that time. Similarly, he was a pioneer in setting up cotton industry using the agriculture products coming from the Deccan area, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and most famously, he set up the first spinning mill in Nagpur. These were the highlights of his life.
Jamshedji Tata continued to be an important figure in the industrial world even in his later stages of life. Later on, Tata became a strong supporter of Swadeshism. The Swadeshi movement did not start until 1905. However, Jamshedji Tata represented these same principles throughout the time he was alive. Swadeshi was a political movement in British India that encouraged the production of domestic goods and the boycott of imported goods. While on a business trip to Germany in 1900, Jamshedji became seriously ill there and passed away on May 19, 1904.